So the youngest kid has the total advantage. You know, you may get picked on, you may get bullied with everybody, but I sat back and watched my dad. Definitely don't want to do that. My mom, my brother, whoever it may be, I sat back and I paid attention to everything around me. And it was the ultimate blueprint to how to live life.
How not to live life.
How not to live life is I watched people do shit and I said, I don't want to be like that.
I like what you said about how the criticism that you see from people is coming from a very unique place. Mm-hmm. I think if you got to see the inner texture of the people who don't like you's existence, you'd feel more pity than anger for the most part. I think you'd pity them.
Yes.
And that's a realization that's taken a long time to come up with, because to me, it always seems like everyone else has got it together. Because I get to see only what you choose to say, only what I'm around you doing that I get to see, whereas I get to observe my own inefficiency and foibles 10,000 times a second, right? I get to watch the texture of my own mind be completely unresponsive and useless. I see every single prideful decision, every single lie that I tell myself, every single time I make a promise and don't keep it. But I don't get to see that from everyone. So I'd always presume, because of this asymmetry, that everybody else had it sorted and I didn't. And it also made me think that everybody else's opinion was this perfectly balanced, well-researched, beautifully, they had me nailed down to a T. And what they were telling me was the truth. Right. They could see something in me that I couldn't. And after a little bit of time, good bit of building up of self-confidence, I realized that that's not the case.
No. This guy from SEAL Team 6 who went out there, when I started becoming more famous, he went out there and just tried to destroy me. Tried to literally destroy me. Talked about how, he just totally lied. Had to get a lawyer against him, all kind of shit. I was getting ready to sue this guy because he literally tried to destroy my character, my reputation. Went out there and just lied his ass off. It was about 2 months into it. I sat back and I started feeling sorry for this guy. Like, really sorry for him. I was going to pull a trigger, sue him, and I said, I'm not going to sue this guy. For you to be this person who comes on and lies and tries to literally tear down everything I've worked for, you are in a very, very bad place. Come to find out, he was. So I get what you're saying. I've learned to study people before I react, because there's no successful person in the world who's in a good headspace that's going to ever attack anyone in that kind of manner. There's always going to be something wrong with them. So you got to always dive a little deeper before you get your feelings hurt by that bully at school, that boss at work. Take time. Take that 1 second to pull back and study them, because most people who are in good places, they don't care about what you're doing. They don't try to destroy you. They actually will try to build you up. Most people who do that, they're in a very dark, dark place.
So I do this interview for the BBC about 6 months ago. And in it, I talk about, I haven't opened up that much about bullying. I need to do it more. And it is, even from watching you go through opening up about your traumas, it is inspiring. So I do this interview for the BBC and I mention a little bit about bullying in school, 2 paragraphs or something, but millions of people see this article. And I get back one day and in my Instagram message requests is this message from a guy, and I kind of recognize his name, but not fully. And I don't know whether you know, but there's like a character limit in Instagram.
Yes.
And this is 5 character limit messages long.
Jeez.
With multiple paragraphs within each of them. And this guy says, hi, Chris, you might not remember me, but we went to school together. I bullied you. My daughter is 4 and she's about to go to school. And given that she's about to go to school, me and my wife have been discussing about the kind of child that we want her to be. And that caused me to reflect on my time that I spent in school. I've been thinking about messaging you for a while. I've been considering talking to you because I really felt like I needed to, because I felt ashamed of the way that I treated you in school and I knew that it had hurt you. And then I saw this article from the BBC and I just had to reach out. I've been sleepless nights, speaking to the wife, tears and all the rest of it. And I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for what I did. I wanted to let you know that my daughter is going to be raised in a way that will never treat anybody like that again. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if you'll see this message. I'm happy to see that you seem to be happy. I needed to get it off my chest.
Right.
I'm like, fuck, totally taken aback. Like, wasn't prepared for this. I've come back in from the gym or something and I'm sat reading this message like, fucking hell, that's heavy. I go back through and I think, well, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this person? How do I feel about my experience?
Right.
Because it was so formative, right? It shaped so much of the way that I see myself, the way that I see the world. But this guy had like fully opened up to me. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful message. So I replied to him and I said, hey man, I very much appreciate you reaching out. I think it's an incredibly brave thing to do. And if me going through what I went through, and then the pain and discomfort and such, and your subsequent suffering of reflecting on what you did, if that has led to a world in which your daughter will be the sort of person who will behave in a manner that's going to make the world a better place going forward, I think that's a price that's worth paying.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story. I want to be a priest, you know, and
Could you imagine one of those sermons?
because I would definitely cuss.
Praise the Lord, motherfuckers.
That's it. I would definitely cuss. I would definitely cuss, man, because that's the world. And there's a lot of people who probably hear this like, oh my God, oh my God, let me close my ear. The world's tough, and I can't make it flowery. I can't make it PG. Like, oh, I want my kids to, like, I have a clean edition of this book.
You have a non-explicit version?
Yes, because people are like, I want my kid to read your book, but you cuss so much, I can't.
I imagine it's about half the size.
Yes, it's very small.
Yes.
So the funny thing about it is, like, how long are you going to shelter your child from a world that's evil as shit? It's gonna come at you whether you've been bullied or not. It's gonna be a lot worse than fuck or motherfuck. It's gonna be a lot worse. We are training kids and people to be soft in a world that continuously gets harder, and it doesn't correlate. Like that guy talking about the tear gas with the SEALs. Is that necessary? I don't know. But what is necessary is you have to build a person that can withstand the pressures of whatever they're going to be dealing with in life. And we don't do that. I'm not trying to send a message of run 200 miles, be the baddest motherfucker in the world. But be tough. You better have a part about you that's tough, a part about you that can break down situations and get better. And break down situations very quickly within some trauma in your life, some devastation in your life, because it's going to come. The devastation, the trauma is going to come, and you can't allow that to become a Jersey barrier. It can't be a Jersey barrier. It has to be something that you can maneuver through very quickly and move forward. That takes a lot of toughness.
Well, unchosen suffering is going to happen, right? So the only thing that you can do is have some chosen suffering to prepare for it.
It's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can practice for the unchosen suffering, is have chosen suffering.
If you ever wondered why having the internet is a good thing, it's because we have access to videos like what you just saw. I wish there was more content out there like that.